Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I have a tutorial for you. I'm going to show you how to use a flat iron to curl or add some waves or texture to your hair. This is a very hotly requested video. A lot of my clients have been asking me to do this for a while, so here we go. When you do this style, you want to do it a layer at a time. So gather up most of your hair, clip it up, just leaving the first layer down. So the hair that's down, you'll want to start by spraying something that's going to help hold the curl. So my favorite thing is this, the Redken-Iron Shape. It's not sticky like hairspray and it has a pretty medium hold, so it's perfect for this step. So you want to spritz it on and then start curling. And a little pro tip, try to alternate the direction of the curls. You want it to look natural, and if everything's going the same direction, it's not going to look natural. So the hair closest to your face should be curled away from your face. So kind of start with that and then just alternate back and forth as you go around your head. And another little tip is that you can make these curls as tight or as loose as you want them. It's completely up to you. So the more tension, and holding the hair like in the position longer, that's going to create a tighter curl for you. So I have pretty thick, coarse hair that's actually naturally curly. So my hair will hold a curl pretty good. But for my clients who have fine or thin hair that have a hard time keeping a curl, I try to make that curl pretty tight on them. That way, as the day goes on, if the curl starts to kind of come out, you'll still have some texture left in your hair, and the curl won't have come all the way out. So a lot of how you do the actual curl is how you twist your wrist. I'm kind of using two hands there for some of it, and it's harder to do this to yourself than it is to do it to somebody else. So kind of keep that in mind. You need to practice. When I first started doing this, I didn't really, it didn't really turn out the way that I wanted to, but after a long time, it became a lot easier. So you just have to keep practicing so that it will do what you want it to do. So you can see the sections I'm taking are they're not really big, they're not really small either, kind of medium sections. This again is kind of like a messy, undone kind of look, so it doesn't really need to be, thin, precise sections, because we're gonna end up kind of finger combing this out anyway. So once you've, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be finishing that row. So once you've finished the row, you need to kind of set that curl. So there's another product I like to use. I use a dry wax or some other kind of texture spray that has a moderate amount of hold without being too stiff or sticky. You do not want to use hairspray for this part, because when we're all done, we're gonna use our fingers to, like I said, kind of comb through the hair and break up the curls. That's another technique that softens them and makes them look more natural. So if you use hairspray, you're gonna have a sticky, tangled, crunchy mess. So do not use hairspray for that portion. That particular spray that I used is by Kenra, and it's a dry wax. So that's one of my favorites, but there are definitely others that I like to use for that step. So you just keep going through a layer at a time, curling and spraying. And as you can see, there's nothing too completely precise about it. You just kind of go with the flow. So, even though you're trying to kind of alternate the curls, the opposite direction each time, you may have a couple that are going the same direction. That's okay. If you are going around and you get to, the front on the opposite side and you're like, oh, well, I know that I should be going away from the face, but I just did the last one away from the face. That's okay. It's fine. This, just for the most part, you want to try to kind of alternate them so that everything's not going the same direction. So that's, I mean, pretty much it as far as instruction goes for this. You know, you can kind of play around with it. I'm singing there, that's silly. You can kind of play around with it and find what works best for you. This is just what works best for me. And like I was saying earlier, when I do this to somebody else, I do it differently. You know, when you're curling your own hair, you can't see the back of your head. When I'm curling someone else's hair, I can see all the way around, you know. So sometimes when you get to the back, you're just kind of winging it, and that's okay. Just kind of do what feels right, you know. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of this particular style. It's kind of perfectly imperfect. So it should be kind of messy. It should be, you know, kind of, you know, boho looking, I guess would be a good word for it. And this is just one way to do this. I mean, you know, some people like to do this with like a curling wand or even a curling iron. I mean, you really can do kind of the same thing. The reason I like to do the flat iron for this particular style is because of the outcome. You know what I mean? I have more control over, like, I'm not wanting big bouncy curls, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can see that. You can see the results I'm getting. So the flat iron is kind of the best way to achieve that kind of, you know, there's kind of a curl to it. It's kind of a, you know, straight angle to it. It's just a different way to do it. And you know, this is, for some reason, you know, it's kind of a harder skill to master. Everybody's used to doing curls with a curling iron, but you know, flat iron, that's a little harder to master. So I just wanted to kind of show everybody how I go about doing that. That way you can practice and be able to do it on yourself. So at this point, I am just kind of gonna speed the video up a little bit to kind of get closer to the end, because I don't think anyone wants to watch 18 straight minutes of me just doing the same thing. So I think you can kind of get the gist at this point. And like I said, I'm just gonna kind of finish out the curling, and then we'll kind of get to the end and I'll explain what I do there. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. Takes a little practice, but if you keep doing it, you'll find your groove and it'll become super simple for you. If you have any questions or want to request more videos like this one, please leave me a comment or email me. And I think it's important to say that I'll put all the product info down below. And please remember that I use the products that I use because I like them and they work. I'm not sponsored by any company or brand, and I make no money for suggesting a particular product or brand to you. So all opinions here are my own, and anything I use has been purchased by me. So that's pretty much it. That last little bit is just a paste that I put in my hair, again, because my hair is thick and kind of unruly, so it just helps give it a little more pieciness. So that's not really recommended for everyone, but that's what I like to do. So that's about it, and I'll see you guys next time.